Hi, my name is Lisa Gibbons. I'm an OB-GYN with Cascadia Women's Clinic in Vancouver, Washington, asked to talk about how to increase conception rates in couples who are trying to achieve pregnancy. This is a very exciting time when people have decided to become pregnant and they're very anxious about how to make that happen. We let our couples know that in the first month, only about 20% of people become pregnant. By the third month, 50% of people who are trying to become pregnant have achieved that. And by 1 year, 85% of people have become pregnant. Some ways to help with these percentages are really knowing your menstrual cycle. If you have a regular menstrual cycle, the first day of your period to the first day of your next period is your menstrual cycle length. The average ovulation happens somewhere in the middle of that cycle. So for instance, for a lady who has a menstrual period of 28 to 30 days in length, their average ovulation time is somewhere between day 14 and day 17. This is a time period where you would want to be targeting intercourse. And intercourse frequency should be every day or every other day through that time period. If you want to become a little bit more specific about your ovulation and trigger that more precisely, ladies can either do a basal body temperature check, which is a charting of a temperature throughout their monthly cycle, and the LH surge, which is a hormone that happens right prior to ovulation, makes a change in the temperature. It's not very large, but there is a significant change there of about 0.4 degrees Fahrenheit. So it will drop down and then spike right after ovulation. Tracking this for a couple months can be helpful, especially if periods are a little bit varied in length and people think that they may be ovulating a little bit later or earlier, to help target when that intercourse should be performed. Other things that can be even more precise than the basal body temps or done in conjunction with them is ovulation predictor kits. Those can be purchased at most grocery stores or pharmacies, and following the instructions, they're quite similar to a pregnancy test where they're a urine dip test that looks for that LH surge as well. The benefit to the ovulation predictor kits is they actually show the spike before it happens, or before ovulation happens, so your targeted intercourse can be more precise, and you want to be having intercourse the 2 to 3 days following that. An egg lives and can be fertilized for about 24 hours, where sperm lives 3 to 5 days, so you have a little bit more of a window as far as intercourse with every day or every other day. One last thing that can be helpful will be monitoring cervical mucus checks. The cervical mucus before ovulation will become quite thin but copious and almost like an egg white discharge. So ladies will have thicker mucus. As they get toward ovulation, it will become thin, more fluid-like, and allow for that sperm to be able to reach the egg more easily. So in conjunction, all those things can potentially be helpful in targeting ovulation. Finally, remembering that infertility is truly diagnosed with a year of trying, remembering that 85% of couples will achieve pregnancy in that time period, and approximately 15% of couples have infertility. So we would recommend, if you don't become pregnant within a year's time period, to follow up with your OB-GYN, or if you're 35 years older or older, then following up after 6 months of trying.